Alright folks, I want to take a minute and before I start the next fly time video and just thank everybody for the support. We've had a bunch of new subscribers. Please keep sharing it to your buddies because I want to we need to build a following in the fly tying. And also on the comments that everybody's been doing, we've been getting some great suggestions. Keep them coming. I love the comments. Keep the comments coming and likes. So once again, I want to say welcome to all the new subscribers to the channel. It's good to see you. Please feel free to leave comments because we do listen to the comments. This channel is as much for you as anything. So we're always looking for, in this case, fly tying suggestions, especially this upcoming video. A few people asked for this in the comments. Also, if you have any fishing tips or anything else, please put them down in the comments because we do listen to the comments. We do get a lot of our ideas for future videos off the comments. So once again, thanks for the comments, thanks for the likes, thanks for the views. Welcome to the channel, to the new subscribers. I'm gonna get done gassing off and get working on the next fly time video for you. All right, this fly I'm gonna tie right here is what I call a salmon steelhead wet fly pattern. And as you can tell, I do them in multiple colors and shades. It's basically a simple fly tied with not a lot of expensive fly tie material, which is one of the nice things, aka another guide fly. The nice thing is it's cheap materials, readily available materials, but it does create, as you can tell, a pretty cool looking fly. And I vary up the color shades and everything else to meet the situations. So basically what it is, it's a style of fly that I tie. You can see, and and I just varied some of the materials and the colors to match whatever condition or particular species of fish that I might be after and whatever behavior they're in. If it's like, for an example, in the fall, sometimes when the spawning starts, these steelhead to get keyed in on pink stuff. Cohos love pink and purples. Sometimes during the early spring, the oranges for steelhead will be a really nice combination. I don't like to have a lot of bright blasting colors sometimes, so I usually use as black as a mix and mix the other colors in. But anyways, it's a simple fly to tie. They kind of come under the heading of work flies, but they're really neat. They fish really well on the swing. They're the type of fly that I would grab when the fish get a little crabby and I don't want a big intruder, but I want something a little bit smaller, more on the classic side. It's kind of more of a classic steelhead wet style of tying. Anyways, they're good productive work flies. Let's get on and tie one. They're not hard. Alright, the material list for these soft hackles, it's really, like I said, nothing's too fancy. The hooks I'm tying these things are on a Daichi 2151, which is kind of a neat little straight eye, straight looped, straight eyed, curved shank classic salmon hook. Like I said, once again, that's a 2151. Your favorite black fly tying thread. In this case, I got some Chenille micro fluorescent Cherise. Just looks kind of cool. Some metallic pink Estaz I'm using. The tail on this thing is some rainbow Krystal flash. And then of course for the soft hackles, I'm working with the Schlappen. In this case, I'm going to be using the real big fat webby soft stuff. When you get all that strung hackle, all that stuff on the you don't know what to use, all that real big fat webby stuff, well, this stuff's golden for this. So this will be the hackle or the collar, and then of course the part of the body is going to be the once again the chenille, the back body, this micro Cherise, and of course the tail is this Krystal flash. Anyways, let's get tying this fly. So once again, as I talked about that 2151 Daichi salmon hook, it is a straight eye. I just like the curve. The straight eye is I don't know, I'm becoming more and more of a fan of it, especially for swinging. But anyways, like I said, your favorite black fly tying thread. And we just kind of start everything up like we always do. You are working on a curve, so I go down just a touch on that curve to get after the, stop the thread. And then, of course, with this stuff, it's kind of blown out there. There we go. Let the camera catch up with me. I use about 3 or 4 half strands. Kind of fighting the material here. Get that out of the way. And I just kind of fold them up to make the tail. So, slow down, Jake. Fold it in half. Now we're having fly time issues here. My materials are escaping on me. I'm quite sure I'm the only one that has this problem. Spilling materials all over the place when you're trying to get something done. And yeah, this stuff is a little twisty, so we're just kind of fist fighting it here. There we go. Get back onto the hook here and kind of tie it up there. I got a stray that fell again. Grab, repeat. There we go. Got to pick it up off the bottom here. Now, fly tying issues. I'm quite sure I'm not the first one with them. I always say them problems with your materials, grab a hold of it, manhandle it, and tell it what it's going to do. We're bigger than it is. There we go. That's better. Now we'll get some of the chenille. Checking the camera, make sure everybody can see it. This micro chenille, we'll just get a little bit. It comes out of spool here, so one of the tricks of manhandling it is I like to just kind of pull it up, tuck it under the spool there a little bit. There we go. Now I can kind of stay in this way, and I'll come along and I'll run it to pretty much the length of the body. I'll kind of wrap it on my side of the hook where the loop bends over, so it kind of evens everything out. I got a little thread loop there. I'm not too worried about that. Come back through, tuck that in there. And the reason why I go the length of the body, if I tie it in the back in here, by the time you add the tail in, you add the chenille in, it just builds up and your fly ends up with what I call lumpy butt disease. It has a fat butt. I don't like fat butts on my flies. Of course, then we butt wrap this micro chenille forward. And that's another turn here. I usually go about 2/3 of the way down. Anchor it in. Cut it off. And this is the size of this chenille is actually a large, and there's a little bit of a thread in there, so I pull some little flashes off, and that way I can catch that the twisted thread that they make the chenille out of and tie it in there. That way I don't have a big buildup. Come forward, and now I'll just kind of butt wrap that. And what I'll do is I'll just keep grooming the fibers back. There we go, and get about 4 or 5 turns. What I'm doing is I'm just making a bump, butt wrap it, so I got a kind of a shoulder here. The whole idea of the Estaz in here is actually to create a shoulder. I want some flash, some volume, some silhouette, but also it'll actually have the hackle, so it kind of skirts around. It doesn't collapse flat against the fly. It actually gets skirted out and adds some volume to the fly, some silhouette to the fly, and some movement to the fly. Since it's not glued against the body, it's puffed out. Now the other thing is we're using 2 different colors, and if I was tying a dry fly in, I'll put the first color in, first wrap the hackle, then I would work the second hackle in. But these big webby soft hackle or type flies and this Schlappen I'm working with, I'll actually tie it in together. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up the stems. Pull it back here. I'll show you how I prep it here in a second here. So I got the stems right in here, the 2 stems together, and I kind of got them laid together, and I got the dull sides and flashy sides lined up accordingly. I'll come in kind of like the curved side to the fly, catch the tips, and tie them in. Now the other little thing I'm going to do, a lot of people have problems when you start winding your hackle. It's really crooked and twisted. What you want to do is make sure you have at least a half a turn down in here of clean stem. When you take the 2 together, that clean stem allows your hackle to orient to the fly. So a little tip on winding hackle. Now since this is soft, I'll sometimes have to groom it. So I did a turn. You can see I just kind of get all that hackle groomed up together. I'll make another turn, get in there, groom all that hackle, get it straightened out, because it's just so soft stuff that it can twist and knot in on itself. So there's the third turn, kind of get it all groomed out. Now I'll give it one more. What the hell? That looks better. Now I got both together. I'm going to come in with the thread, make a turn right in here to tie it down with a couple of turns. I'm going to get in here, separate the black, or excuse me, the purple and black out. Get in with the tips, cut the purple out. Get that out of the way. And then I'm going to do a couple more turns of black in the front. That just kind of gives it a nice forward look to the fly with a darker black. I'm a big fan of these blacks on these flies because they silhouette in all different water and light conditions. So that'll give us a nice little look to the front of the collar. Tie it in. Those tips get soft, so sometimes you get 4 or 5 turns on, we can just snap them off. But make sure you have them anchored good, because if you do it 1 or 2 turns, you try to pop the tip out, the fly comes undone. We'll finish up our head. I do like to wind back just a little bit. Get in here. This one's pretty good. Alright, whip finish it. Now I got another little soft hackle tying tip coming up here. So sometimes your hackle will be all burred out like that. It'll be stiff. It's not laying back nice. Take your fingers. See how I got it fold back. Take your other hand. Get in here, pinch it, and turn it like quarter turns back and forth. And it lays that hackle right back. So if the hackle's misbehaving, you don't like it, just kind of pinch it. Turn the whole material on the hook back and forth a couple turns, about quarter turns. And that will get that hackle to behave. And you can see how the Estaz in here is creating the shoulder that keeps that hackle out, creates that skirt around the body. And when this flies under the swing, all this hackle can come to life. Of course, the Estaz comes to life. The sparkly chenille in there comes to life. The little tails make it like a little crystal water bubbly colored tail behind it. Creates a lot of life to the fly. So this is my style of soft hackles that I tie. My Steelhead salmon soft hackles. And of course, I just vary the colors depending on the conditions and the fish I'm chasing. Hope it works for you. Thanks for watching. And as always, please leave me a comment. I enjoy the comments. See you, folks. Good luck with the fly. This is Jay at JPEG Guides and Lost River Fishing. We are a year-round fly fishing catch and release guide service. We fish the Lake Ontario tributaries. And then during the spring and the summer, we also fish the inland trout streams, classic dry fly fishing. During the heat of the summer, we will do the warm water fishing for bass and pike. If you're interested in any of our outings or have any questions, please feel free to email us at fish@lostriversfishing.com. Hope to hear from you, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact us.